Now listen, this is going to be the most important video you've ever seen on GloveGate.
Hi, this is Joe Cortez. You're watching ShowBizz, the adult.
Oh, this is Bernard Hopkins, ShowBizz, the adult. I'm out.
Oops, up off net. Yeah, up off net. Now listen, this is going to be the most important video you've ever seen on GloveGate. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, the adult. All right, man, look, unreal comparison, the first GloveGate. Oops, all right, man, look. First, I want to say this. Now, the first GloveGate happened on a cold night, December 18th, 1811. Boot! Now, the two fighters involved was a reigning UK champion by the name of Tom Cribb versus an American champion who should be considered the first heavyweight champion of the States named Tomolino. Now, not too many people know who Tomolino is. There's, faded, foggy history on Tomolino, but he is the first American heavyweight champion. I'm not sure if Google really understands who Tomolino is. Hey, Google, who is Tomolino?
According to Wikipedia, Thomas Molyneux, sometimes spelled Molyneux, was an African-American bare-knuckle boxer and possibly a former slave. He spent much of his career in Great Britain and Ireland, where he had some notable successes. He arrived in England in 1809 and started his fighting career there in 1810.
Eggnog. Christmas in a cup. Tomolino, a former slave. Now, his father was a slave, and his father fought in the Revolutionary War on the side of England. After the war, he went back to his Virginia plantation where he trained his son, Tomolino, how to fight. Now, his father, he died young. Tomolino, on the other hand, he went on into slave fighting. Now, his master put him in slave fighting, him being a big, strong slave, Tomolino. Tomolino won a few bouts, and then he won the bout that he fought for his freedom, where, his slave owner say, look, you win this, I'll set you free. Now, his slave owner, he gambled a lot of money, even his entire plantation on this fight. Tomolino became the victor. Immediately after becoming champion, Tomolino, he left the States, okay? He went to London. Now, the reason why he's considered the first American heavyweight champion is because there was no boxing in America, okay? But slave fighting had the same rules as boxing in London. And that was the only fighting of that sort in the States. So the slave fighting champion was considered the American champion. Boot! When Tomolino went to London, he went to London brash, boasting, walking the streets, saying, I'm the heavyweight American champion. Where is your champion? I heard of this guy named Tom Cribb. Where is he? Now, with his stature, his good looks, his height, his build, he went from pub to pub. Now, everyone loved him, buying him drinks. Now, look, there was racism in London, just not as bad as it is or was in the States. Now, he went on parading the streets. He was very popular with the women, walking around with women on each arm. Now, Tomolino finally got his fight with the reigning champion, Tom Cribb. It was the Battle of the Nations, considered the WBC, the World Boxing Championship. Now, you can already kind of put together some of the similarities, but the plot thickens. Now, Tomolino versus Tom Cribb for the World Championship. They fight December 18th, very cold day, 1811. Now, the fight was so bloody. The fight was so, just savage. that there was so much blood between this black man, Tomolino, and shed by Tom Cribb, this white man, the reigning UK champion. There was so much blood. The fans said that they couldn't differentiate between the two. They were so covered in blood. Well, later in the fight, Tomolino, he drops Tom Cribb. He drops the champion. The champion's laid out unconscious for more than 30 seconds. They start raising Tomolino's hand, saying, here's the new WBC, the World Boxing Champion. As they're celebrating Tomolino's victory, Joe Ward from Team Tom Cribb, he says, wait a second, no, there's no victor here. Tomolino, he had bullets in his hands. Everyone said, what? Bullets in his hands? Joe Ward said, I saw them. He had bullets in his hands. Molino opens his hands. He said, I don't have any bullets in my hands. Joe Ward said, you dropped them. Look, everybody, there's no way this black man could beat the superior white man. Racially charged. The crowd start thinking, yeah, it must have been something. That's right. He had bullets in his hands. So everyone said, get Tom Cribb up. He's the real champion. They start waking up Tom Cribb. They tell Tom Cribb, continue fighting. The fight is still on. Tom Cribb, he runs to Tomolino. Molino grabs Tom Cribb. He slams him down. But Tomolino, he hits his head. He hits his head on a wooden stake. He's knocked out unconscious. Everyone tells Tom Cribb, finish him. Tom Cribb, he hits Tomolino in the throat. Fight over. The champion. New WBC champion. Tom Cribb raised his hand in victory. Now, you don't have to be a genius to see the similarities here. And it really doesn't matter to me what side of this GloveGate you're on. We're just talking about the similarities. Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, UK champion. Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, the US champion. They're both fighting for the WBC. Well, not the World Boxing Championship, but the World Boxing Council Championship. They're fighting for the WBC. The foreigner, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, coming over to the States, parading around. He's even wearing the States colors. They love him in the States. Many people calling him the next Muhammad Ali. He takes on Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and he knocks out Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder in a TKO. They stop the fight. And immediately after his victory, no, he didn't win. He had egg-shaped weights in his gloves. And it's racially charged. There's no way this white man can beat this superior black man in Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. No way! He must have egg-shaped weights in his gloves. Have any of you ever seen an egg-shaped weight? Do you know what they refer to them as? Bullet weights! You want to know why? Have you ever seen a bullet in the 1800s? That's right. They're practically the same thing. Eggnog. Christmas in a cup. You know, it's funny. After Tomolino and Tom Cribb had their fight, there were many people who read about the fight, who saw the fight, many unbiased people who said Tomolino won that fight. They said that he was cheated. They said that the accusations were false. And those people who said that, the nation, others who believe that Tomolino actually cheated, said that they're not real white people. They're not real. How can you say this black man who obviously cheated Tom Cribb, how can you say that we accused him falsely? And it's funny, after the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight, many unbiased fans says there's no way Tyson Fury cheated. You have the Nevada State Commission, they have Tyson Fury gloves and said there's no metal there. There's no removing of the cushion. Everything was fine. The unbiased black fans who said, nah, Fury just beat Deontay Wilder, they're told, you're not a real black man. There's no way you're a black man if you believe Fury defeated the superior black athlete, Deontay Wilder. It doesn't really matter what side of GloveGate you're on, okay? That's not the point of this video. The point is one thing, that history repeats itself. ShowBizz, the adult. Hey, look, if you can, look up Tomolino. There's a real strong argument that he is the first American heavyweight champion.